Porn, fantasy, and a silent betrayal. Marriage questions that you secretly ask, and what do they mean? Why couples therapy fail and what actually works. Labeling your partner, and I'm gonna go with narcissist. Triggers versus cognitive distortions, guys. Ooh, this might trigger you and put you into your own distortion. Answer the question, the myth about happy wife, happy life, and why it's destroying marriages. Porn, fantasy, and a silent betrayal. Welcome to the Morrow Marriage podcast, guys. And you know, I love to get porn in front of you, meaning with a different thought process, okay? The silent betrayal, let's talk about that first because it's been a minute since we've done that. And I need you to understand, if you haven't figured it out, more than likely your partner is going to assume you're betraying. They feel like they've been cheated on, or it causes the brain to think in the same way as if you did have an affair.
Can I jump in?
Yeah.
So many women in my program, especially lately, are talking about how porn is a major problem. Mm-hmm. In the beginning, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when we started all of this, women talked about it a little bit. I don't know what is going on. It's probably because we talk about it more and we make it easy for you guys to talk to us. But so many women are struggling with husbands who they're calling it porn addiction, sex addiction. It's secrecy, betrayal.
I always heard about porn. I'm hearing sex addiction a lot too right now.
Yes, I'm hearing that they really feel like their husband has no impulse control and that their husband doesn't care that it hurts their wives. And so when I'm coaching these women, I have to teach them how to compartmentalize. You love your husband, you don't love the porn addict. The same way I would teach them, you love your husband, you don't love the alcoholic. You have to compartmentalize the man from the alcoholic because you still love the man.
Correct.
Well, you love him even though he's doing these things. Stop taking it so personally. But of course, they're going to take it personally because it does feel like a betrayal. And I think that's where you called it the silent.
It's a silent betrayal because it's something that men specifically will justify. There's women that will fight back on my content on social media and say the same thing. Oh, don't be such a prude. Like, you know, and remember, you know, go back to watch the human trafficking episode. I mean, there's major reasons why we don't support porn. But when we've been talking about intimacy a little bit here and safety in the last couple episodes. And like, if you really want to understand another way to break down safety, trust, and therefore peace from the home, remove it. It's things like porn, sneaking off and looking at pictures, Instagram, you fucking people scrolling on Instagram and getting caught up.
That's another one of the things that's coming up a lot lately is the women that husbands follow on Instagram.
Oh my gosh.
And the women asking, stop following these people, stop looking, stop liking, stop commenting, and the men keep doing it.
And you know, like the amount of men, so I know which men are doing that and which men are not doing that in my program. I mean, that just comes out pretty easily, okay? But every single one that does, here's the voice of betrayal that I'm talking about, is every single one of them, their wife has a problem with their lying. Well,
with what?
With their lying.
Lying,
right? It's not just about lying about porn. It's like lying in general. You train yourself.
It's very deceptive, yes.
Yes, by
They're
being
still
deceptive.
not okay with the porn, but the fact that you're lying about the porn makes it worse. It's another layer.
I mean, this goes deep, guys. Like, I mean, if you really understand how the brain works and habits work and programming works, this is when you'll see a man, his eyes will wander when he's with his wife. You know, I get all annoyed when I mean, I get it. My wife is fucking hot and I understand why they're elevating her up and down and they're just like, I know what they're fucking thinking, okay? But man, you train yourself with those deceptive lies or white lies, if that's what you call them, whatever it is or I'm just not telling her everything, okay? You train yourself to do shit like that, like to check out my wife or another woman or whatever. When you can't get your fix, you don't feel love from your wife, you train yourself to talk to other people. It's a silent betrayal because it's a silent fucking killer. It's creeping in and affecting all of these other little areas of your life and the man that you are. And then you're upset that she's not emotionally connected to you, doesn't even want to cuddle, thinks all you do is you have this sex addiction, all you care about is sex. Bullshit, man. Bullshit. Like, I want you to understand, when you're fantasizing about somebody else, you're doing it wrong. Women, I know you're doing this too, just to get through the sex. You know? Like, you have to get fucking intentional, right, baby? Like,
yeah. You know, that's a really good point. We don't really talk about the fantasy part, right? Because if your husband, this is one of the things that probably hurts women so badly, because if your husband is watching porn, it's not just that you're watching porn and that you're lying about it. It's that you might be, I don't know what you're thinking, but you might be thinking about being, like you just said, being with someone else. That's probably why it hurts. And I've actually not gone into that specific conversation with my women. Maybe I should ask that. why does it hurt? And I think they talk about the betrayal, but they don't actually think about, or they don't say out loud that they're afraid that he's picturing having sex with one of these porn stars when he's with her and not actually connected.
Well, let's say
there's so many different levels.
There's lots of things you could be thinking of, right? You could be just imagining yourself with this huge ass fucking cock. I don't know what you think about, but does it really matter? If we can't tell or say what she or he is allowed to feel hurt over, if she thinks that you're fantasizing about doing that act that she won't do with that woman because she won't do it, like the chances are very unlikely, I'm sure, that you're actually fucking thinking about your wife right there.
Yeah.
If you're watching that, you know what I mean? But let's just assume that you are. It doesn't matter. The person that gets betrayed is the one that gets to have the hurt justified.
Right.
Right?
Because remember, if you're lying about it, she's never going to, if you say, well, I'm thinking about you when I watch it, first of all, it doesn't justify it. But she's not going to believe that because you're already saying I'm not watching it, and then you're watching it, and then she's catching you, and then, oh, well, I'm thinking about you, or whatever excuse it is. She's not going to believe that because it's lie and lie, 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 lie. Betrayal, betrayal, betrayal.
Correct. You guys have to understand, when we think about porn, fantasies, all these other ways to get your self really just to feel better about yourself, okay? It's not an actual addiction, okay? It's not, okay? It's not a sexual or porn addiction. You create the cycle of where you do have your hormones go up and down. It's why you consider it an addiction, but it's not, okay? It's something that you can manage. It's something that mostly you manage by talking to other people of the same gender about it and getting away from it. That's a simple thing. I mean, we can help you with program. We can help you, but
I think that there are porn addicts though, but most of you are not actually addicted. You're not taking your phone and going jerking off in the bathroom. Every time you go.
Every time you go. Like,
you're at a restaurant and had dinner with your wife and you go jerk off and watch porn in the bathroom. That is addictive behavior. I actually knew a woman that was like that and would have to go and do that during work, her work breaks.
I should clarify.
So there are people, but most of you are not falling into that category where you've gone that far.
Yeah, you're using it as a crutch.
Yes.
It's like when you say, well, I think I'm a sex addict. Well, no, you're doing that because you want to feel connected to your partner and you realize you're not getting that connection. So you're like, I need to fuck 5 times a day. That's not fucking real. I mean, we're going crazy like that right now. No, well, not 5, but that's because we're deeply connected.
Right.
Right? Because we're sharing fantasies together. Because there is no betrayal. There's no lies. There can't be. There's so much truth. Right? There's so much safety, therefore trust and peace that we keep talking about in these episodes right now. So if you could understand that, you can break away from this addiction that you have because you're literally just fucking wasting time. If your partner's not on board, even if you are a sex addict and you want to 3 times a day, like I think it was 3 times like yesterday, like second time this week.
A couple days ago. It might have been 3 times yesterday too.
I think
it's been a wild week.
It's been a wild week.
But who can count that high?
And so let's just say you're like, ooh, I want that. Well, it didn't matter. Like I was saying I wanted that from the beginning and then it changed. And it's like a whole new level. It was only like a month and a half ago, maybe. We did an episode and Kathryn's like, I don't know if I'll want it in 5 minutes or if I'll want it in 5 days or 30 days or whatever. Something like that she said on the podcast.
It was so unpredictable.
Yeah.
But that's part of the growth process. And I think women need to hear that. This is why we tell our story because I went from not wanting him, hating him. I didn't even desire to then I had desire to desire. And then the desire that I did was so unpredictable. Completely unreliable, not even really responsive like desire can be. I couldn't even, there was
definitely a lot more intention and true connection outside, but it's like where you guys, that's why we say climbing the ladder, right? Where you guys might be like best friends, getting along so well, great dates, we don't understand, life is good. On the outside, we look so good looking in, and there's a lot more intention.
Yeah, you still don't really want to be with your husband sexually. And so I went through that, and then I went through, sometimes I wanted it, and I literally didn't know
sometimes
when
you were fucking wild.
I was like, I gotta, like now, like this is what.
And I remember one time, I don't even know, a few months ago, and you were like, I'm feeling good. Like, again, she felt safe enough where she could say, I'm satisfied, not afraid that I'm gonna be like, oh, fuck. You know what I mean? And
like if I said no.
Yeah, because we had sex, it was wild, and it was like when Kathryn would go through a phase where, when she really wanted it, that could mean she's good for a minute, like quite a bit.
A long minute.
Quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
And
that's what I'm saying, completely unpredictable.
Right. And then then we get to this new stage where it's not just unpredictable, wild, and crazy. If you hear about the 7 types of sex and stuff like that, it's like we're on like a.
And as far as I can tell, it's pretty reliable.
It's
Pretty reliable these days.
And the activities are exciting and all of, you know, but guys, we remove the shit that we call crutches, and porn is one of those. This need for validation somewhere, even from your partner, pressuring them to love you, right? All of these are types of betrayals, and I mean it, because if you think about what we're describing in the passion, and I mean, I don't think anything's off limits right now.
To
You know what I mean?
clarify,
Like,
it's not one of the crutches that we removed. We came into our marriage. That's one of the things that we didn't really struggle with. We had a few episodes in the beginning where there was a
Yes.
little bit of betrayal with pornography, but that's never been one of our things.
No, it's
so
true.
we had other crutches and other types of betrayal with emotional violence, for example.
Right.
But all of it, they're all crutches that you need to be able to remove to get to that next level.
yeah, I see most of you aren't going to be as violent as I was. It makes more sense to use an example like this to explain it. But it's the exact same thing, no matter what we're talking about.
What's the name of this episode again?
This is, I can't remember what we called it here. Porn, fantasy, and the silent betrayal. Yeah.
Silent betrayal, yeah.
So why I am calling it the true betrayal, and what I really want you to take home today, is that if you can understand that if you want the marriage that we have, you have to understand you're betraying that future. I like to say, do what, like if you know exactly where you're going, what your marriage should look like, what that man or woman should be, then do what that person would do today, right? That person, if you're that person who's watching porn or guilting your spouse for not having sex with you or whatever, okay? If you want the wild adventures where I'm pretty sure nothing is fucking off limits right now for us. You know what I mean? Like,
No other people in the bedroom. That is
oh
off
yeah,
limits.
that's definitely
Way off limits.
Only between us.
Yes.
Like, then what I'm saying is you can't have it. To have that, we're not doing what today you is doing. We're doing what we know works, okay? Take that home and kick ass, okay? We'll see you next time.